to his own immortality, and that is what Deepa awakened there in that moment. I know it's a little bit of a retcon, but like hypothetically, what if the reason he was just floating, existing as a head, isn't because Amado Jigen saved him? It's just because he just lives like that. He's just fine existing like that.
That'd be awesome, but then like, how did they kill him when they flushed him down? Yeah, he actually just didn't die.
No, they didn't flush anything. They flushed down his nutrition. That's what they did.
Yo, you know what else is crazy that's been revealed?
Huh.
That they are actually at Orochimaru's cave. Do you think Orochimaru is gonna pop up anytime soon?
I wouldn't Orochimaru Shinju.
I hope so.
Orochimaru could also be the one playing chess against Amado.
They're in his hideout.
Koji.
Okay, that would actually be wild.
Well, they're in his abandoned hideout.
The one.
Yeah. No, it would be. But I don't think
Orochimaru is trying to make the worst. Dude, that's actually awesome. Orochimaru is trying to make the worst possible future for a science experiment.
He's mixing the colors real well. You're trying to see what pitch black looks like.
No, he wants to see that windmill crank up to 100.
Oh god.
So you don't think Orochimaru has any type of? You don't think Orochimaru has any type of involvement in what's going on?
Not
he better.
now.
If he doesn't, I'm gonna be mad.
Not anymore. I think he might in the future because it's still his hideout. But as of right now, I don't think he's in the current timeline played any significant role for anyone.
I don't think he's like working with Boruto and Koji now because they said abandoned hideout. But he can still get involved.
Yeah. I think he will get involved because they're using the hideout. Because like Koji already had his own
place.
At least he could be a Shinju.
Why pick his hideout out of all places?
Do you mean in terms of story or in terms of author?
What?
Like in terms of the writer or Koji himself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Koji.
Because it's hidden.
Well, I was thinking
I know, but
maybe because he has inkling remembrance of Orochimaru. And in the same way, it's interesting how the fates of Konoha brought me back to this place, or whatever. It's interesting how Orochimaru's fate is intertwined. He's here now. Say something stupid like that. I think that would be the reason, rather than it's hidden, because he could just go to anywhere else. It's just as hidden, because he's using Genjutsu to make it hidden anyways. Why not go to Boro's hideout? Why not go to Jigen's dimension?
That's fair. We'll use both together. Both.
Exactly.
It's hidden.
Why Orochimaru's hideout? Why did he feel comfortable enough to go there? That's my question.
If anything, it is more of a
risk. And hiddenness and abandonedness.
Well, no, but that's a good point, because it is literally physically more of a risk. It's an unknown place, a place that could even still potentially be booby-trapped, landmined, for all he knows. He doesn't know how to, like, navigate until he learns, like, the blueprints of the map of it all.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, he has, like, 1 billion throwaway bomb exploding camera toads he can just use to do that off screen.
Sure. Okay, fine. Man, there's also the possibility that Orochimaru finds out he's there, which is also another risk. Or someone else finds out he's there.
That would be the coolest thing ever, though.
Well, not from Koji's perspective, though. If he's trying to stay hidden.
But from our perspective.
Yeah, it's like a place on Earth as opposed to Jigen's dimension is more risky. He seemingly doesn't need to do that. Yeah, I think it would be Orochimaru.
So you don't think this is any type of foreshadowing that Orochimaru is going to have any type of role to play in the future of the TVV franchise?
I think it is foreshadowing, but I'm concerned that they're just going to, like, be mean to us and not do anything with it.
Yeah.
Be mean to us? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what they'd be mean if they did that.
Because, like, the fact that why is it an abandoned hideout instead of Orochimaru's just there? What's the narrative significance behind that pregame other than just to be mean to the audience? Exactly.
You said what?
Well, no, but it's not like this is the first time. For example, they've done shit like this. Just this latest chapter, they were really hyping up Juro's relentless pursuit of which he shot not a single. With that in mind, no, I don't trust them to actually bring Orochimaru to the story.
Yeah. I agree with Kamui.
I think they will, bro. I think they will. I don't think there's a reason why they will have him in the side off for no reason.
Well, we can think
Well,
they
I would
will,
think
but we
that
don't
too,
trust
yes.
them to.
Yeah,
Those
whether
are two
you
different
trust
things.
them or not, it doesn't mean that
Well, yeah, it doesn't mean that they won't. I
that's a
think they will,
plausible. It doesn't
but I
mean
don't
that's
trust them.
not a plausible theory.
No, we agree. It's a plausible theory, and it's something that should happen. We're
Which is
just
why it
concerned it
probably
won't.
won't.
That's all.
I love that meme.
I highly.
Gotta use it every time. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop a poll and see what the community thinks.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like I said, like in all seriousness, he really should get involved based on this. Like, if he doesn't, that's just dumb.
Yeah.
He has so much potential for mostly the plot, but you can do story stuff through Mitsuki. Especially, for example, if let's just say Log became a Shinju, throwing it to that theory you saw, Oodie. If Log became a Shinju, that gets Orochimaru and Mitsuki involved. You get some father-son interactions through that. There's a lot you can work with.
And to make the comparison, this is separate from like the fan service Easter egg coolness that is like the I was using earlier, the Metal versus Shinki fight in reference to the previous generation of Lee versus Gaara, the fact that that's iconic. The difference here is that that isn't set up as a question. That's, if anything, payoff or an answer, quote unquote, in this case, the comparison. Like here, this Orochimaru mystery is set up as a question, which in this chapter was answered. Oh, it's an abandoned hideout. It's just the place they're staying at. But why set it up as a question at all in that case? That's not fan service at
exactly,
that point.
yeah, like, why do it?
Exactly.
Now, again, I'll give you a reason why. The reason you don't want to hear. To get people hype for something that's never going to happen. And it sucks to say, but I mean, marketing-wise, yeah, I mean, that is a technically smart thing to do to get people interested, but it's also the worst thing you can do at the same time. But
because if there's no significance to using Orochimaru's lair when there should have been, because they raised my expectations to where I think there is going to be based on the manga material itself, that's bad. I'm not going to like it. I'm going to be upset.
exactly.
If they never gave me the expectations, I wouldn't have cared. It would have been a fun theory, but I never would have entertained it as something that I expected to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never expected it until the hideout showed up. Then it's like, okay, now I am expecting it until the manga ends.
So it's a difference between expectation and consideration. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But while we're
it's not like, especially if you're going to consider the movie anime, they've given us plenty in those versions to make us think Orochimaru will get involved in this main storyline. The manga even a little bit by saying how Mitsuki says Orochimaru is the one who told him about the Byakugo seal having ties to the Sage of Six path, and that there's more to the Byakugo seal than we all know here. And they're going to go talk to Tsunade and seemingly eventually Orochimaru. They just never did it. I was like, we have plenty, even in this stupid manga. I don't care if it's a Kadachi plot point. It's in the fucking story. Use it.
Like, the whole journey of Naruto Gaiden itself is literally about Orochimaru. The story is about Sakura finding out her parents, and Sheen is the obstacle getting in her way. But the journey, the inciting incidents, finding the photo, the journey is about going to Orochimaru. He's like the centerfold of the journey story there. So, like, if Orochimaru's gonna be important, have him be important. Like, they're doing him in filler episodes in Boruto as of recently, so you gotta keep him in the story somehow. The fact that he's
Mitsuki's existence
and exactly.
I mean, now I'll admit, in the manga, the Sage power, not so much because they don't address it, but ignoring that for a second, Mitsuki's whole existence and his mysterious, absurdly strong sage power, that alone is enough to be asking, what is Orochimaru up to?
Well, hang on.
And I agree, like, freaking, he needs to be in the story. There's no way they wouldn't do it. Although I said that about the time skip, but there's no way he won't be in the story. Unless they do that.
And I do want to say, even though it's like Mitsuki's own story in some regard rather than Orochimaru's, I do want to mention the fact that not only the Sage mode that you just dismissed, but as well as that, the sun concept, Boruto being a sun, that both of those things were introduced in the Mitsuki one-shot, which originated as manga material. It's not in the Boruto manga, I understand. Just like how Naruto Gaiden isn't in the Boruto manga. But it is still manga material, which it originated as in the first place. I do want to at least mention that.
Written by Kishimoto himself,
Exactly.
by the way, as it actually says on the chapter. But that's besides the point. But they introduced this. Like, the Mitsuki Sun thing isn't in the Boruto manga. I don't think Mitsuki even mentions it once in part 1. Maybe he does, but I don't think he does. But it's in that one shot. They're addressing it now.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, they've already addressed things from that chapter. We know that chapter is on the table. There's no reason why you can't involve Orochimaru with that in mind. Because, like, he's the one who gave Mitsuki this idea in the first place.
Even if it's just the introduction of these elements.
That would play into Mitsuki's character arc about understanding himself. Why am I even looking for a son? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because my dad fucking told me to. Why don't I figure something out about this? You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty to work with.
Exactly. Freaking, what do you think about that? All that?
Yeah. No, I agree with him.
Yeah. Anything to add to that?
No, honestly, I don't.
Okay, fair enough. I guess we said it perfectly. Took the words right out of his mouth.
I don't know why they wouldn't have him in the story. Like, that's what I was asking you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Did you want to wait longer on the poll?
Well, assuming they do.
We got results.
Right.
Assuming they do add him, give one of, like, I'll say 2 ways so that not everyone picks the obvious one. He's working with Goji at the hideout. What are some of the ways you think they would actually introduce him?
I mean, you
like,
already
what
know
would he be doing? Why is he appearing now, and so on?
Yeah, just like as a fan
the obvious
theory
ones, Goji's hideout.
The fan theory of Forever, the fact that he's the scientist just like Amato, so they're going to have a clash of wills there. The battlefield of destiny, if you will.
But why is he going to show up now? Is it going to be because Amato says or does something, and now it's like, okay, I need to say something? Like, what's the plot? The immediate plot.
The reason he's showing up now as opposed to earlier or later, and my answer isn't allowed to be Koji because it would be the obvious first choice. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. In this case, did Orochimaru ever interact with Gaara? Ever?
I don't think he interacted with him directly, but indirectly, yes.
Interesting. Okay. I have a fun one. Okay. Orochimaru
Gaara looked at him and was mad when he was pretending to be Gaara's dad.
Whether it's Shinki's or someone else's, I think at some point, Orochimaru is either going to intercept a Thorn Soul by harvesting one early, or a Shinju's gonna be defeated, and before Boruto or whoever is gonna be able to grab it, Orochimaru is the one that grabs it and runs away with it, so that he can experiment on the Thorn Soul.
That.
I like it too. Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe not like in the I stole your Thorn Soul sense, but he could just in a different location have an experience with, hell, let's just say it's the bug or the new Shinju that shows up, and he just has an experience with it. And I'll go ahead and offer mine. My goofy one.
Hang on, real quick.
The log theory, buddy.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Log becomes a Shinju, Orochimaru gets involved because of that.
Yeah. With mine of the I stole the Thorn Soul teehee, it would parallel the like heaven and earth scrolls from the tuning exams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he burns it. Oh, I'm sorry, Boruto. You wanted
we'll
this sword still? No, he eats it. He puts it in his mouth. Come and get it.
And then he accidentally doesn't realize eating it gives him the power boost, and he just becomes stronger.
Yeah, now he's just the strongest.
I think Orochimaru will play more of a scientific role if he's helping Kashin Koji and Boruto. If he is.
In that case, I think he'd be doing a lot of karma and or Ten Tails related experiments / giving them knowledge on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had so many Orochimaru thumbnails
totally
just
agree,
waiting to execute for the story, whatever chapter introduces them.
They don't really divulge on what Orochimaru is doing, what experiments he's currently creating. He created Mitsuki and gave him perfect sage mode. So, I mean, a scientist is only going to advance from there. He made sure that he perfected the sage mode that was deteriorating his body. So he's elevating in his scientific quest. So, I think he'll be the best candidate to help him out.
Yeah.
Do you guys think he was affected by omnipotence or?
I do.
I think Orochimaru is gonna be one of those characters that was affected is gonna figure it out. Unless, and like, if he's not affected, obviously that raises a ton of questions. Oh, is he actually a Suzuki? Did he have some workaround mechanic to avoid it or whatever? But I feel like Orochimaru is gonna be someone who's like, yeah, I already knew about this shinjutsu from my research, and I figured out the truth because I'm so smart. Like they had Shikamaru do it. Now Koji's doing it because he foresaw it. I feel like Orochimaru, whether he's affected or not, he's gonna know the truth. I don't care if he's affected or not.
And
bro is not gonna fall for it.